Good afternoon, students. How are you all? Hope you all are doing good, staying safe at home. Had your lunch? Yes, because it's lunch time now. Okay, eat healthy lunch, children. Eat healthy food, stay healthy, improve your immunity power. Okay, it will be useful to fight with all the types of viruses. If your immunity levels are good, you can fight with any types of diseases, any types of viruses very easily. So eat healthy food, stay healthy, right? Okay. In the last class, children, we have started the new lesson, that is the natural realms of the earth. In that we have studied about the different realms of the earth, that is lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. We have studied about the formation of lithosphere, the solid crust, the solid hard part of the layer of the earth, outer layer of the earth, which is called as crust, is lithosphere. And we have studied about the first and second order landforms. Now we are studying about the formation of the third order landforms. These third order landforms are formed with the work of water and wind, right? So how this work of water and wind is responsible for the formation of the third order landform, that we have studied in the last class about the denudation process, weathering, erosion, transportation and deposition. These four processes are involved in this denudation process, and how this brings, how this process is responsible for the formation of new landforms, third order landforms like deltas, meanders, oxbow lakes, and we have also studied about valleys, U-shaped valleys, gorges, canyons, right? Waterfalls, plunge pools, right? This all we have studied in the third order landforms. So in the last class we have studied about what is weathering, what is erosion, what is transportation, deposition. This all we have studied. Now let us continue the topic. In the last class we have also studied about the work of water, with the pressure of water, how these canyons and gorges, they cut the rocky mountains, hard mountains, and how these gorges and canyons are formed. That all we have studied in the last class. Now let us continue with the next topic, that is the work of glaciers. What are glaciers, children? You have seen, children, that hilly areas, high mountains, they receive snowfall because of the high altitude. There you do not find heavy rainfall. There you have snowfall. So this snow continuously, due to this snowfall, the snow accumulates over the hills, mountains, and it becomes very hard ice. Okay, so this hard ice, these hard blocks of ice, because of the gravity, they slowly pulls down to the foot of the mountain. So very slowly they start moving down from the top of the mountain. So this moving of ice is called glacier. So this ice, when these blocks of ice, when they move down to the foot of the mountains or hills, due to the variation in temperature, the temperature at the top of the hill, top of the mountain is very less than compared to the foot of the hills. So once the ice blocks reach once these glaciers reach the foot of the mountain, due to the little increase in the temperature, makes these glaciers melt slowly. Okay, so this because of this melt of glaciers, many rivers originated. Our rivers, Indian great Himalayan rivers like Ganga, Brahmaputra, Indus, they are formed with from this type of glaciers, right, children? Okay, so these hard ice, hard blocks of ice, when they start moving down from the top of the mountain, they slowly, while moving down, they slowly erode the surface of the mountains. So it act like the sandpaper. Wherever extra land or extra surface you find on the mountain, they just erode it with the pressure, and they make the slopes, gentle slopes, as a smooth, without any stones or any other or any mountains, okay, any small hills. So they just erode the extra land or extra mountain which are coming across them, and they carry those stones and those stone boulders along with them down till the foot of the mountain. So this is called as till. So once they come down, this ice slowly start melting. So while this erosion takes place, when they break the small stones, or they cut the extra, rub the extra stones and all, at that time small pieces of stones, cobbles, pebbles, they all form while crushing of these mountains. Okay, they act as the sandpaper. Okay, so this also comes along with the ice. So the heavy materials are left over beside around the glaciers. Now the water do not have that much force like a glacier. So the heavy materials will be left over in that area around the glacier. So that is called as till. And the remaining pebbles, cobbles, and the sand, mud, that will fine soil will be washed out with the force of water, which is called as moraine. So that water will carry all these sediments, debris along with it, and they deposit it in some other area wherever there are basins or lowlands, forming the new landforms as plains. Right? Okay. So in this way, these glaciers breaks the mountains, and they will form the U-shaped valleys, V-shaped valleys, by rubbing the outer layer of the mountain. Is that clear to you? Okay, so the next is work of waves, sea waves. Have you ever visited seashores, children? Beaches? You might have experienced the speed water which is flowing, coming from the sea. We call them as that movement of water near the seashore, near the beaches. We call them as sea waves. They come very fast with a lot of pressure, and they hit us, and they again return back because of the gravitational force, and because of the depth of the ocean. They just again go back because of the lowlands present in the ocean. Right? So this sea waves, when they come with full pressure, and when they hit the mountain bodies, or when they hit the stones or mountains which are which are present in the water bodies, which are present in the seas and ocean, due to the continuous hit of the hitting of these sea waves, small cracks will be developed over those area till where the water, till where these sea waves are coming in contact. So these cracks, in due course, due to continuous hit of this, after many years, these cracks break slowly, forming as sea caves. So you find the gap in which the water enters, and the water enters into those sea caves, hitting the further mountain, making it as a hole, and there you find the sea arcs. Okay, so it forms as a sea arc due to the hitting of the water waves, and due to the contraction and again, as the stones, because of the heat, water, and because of air, this expansion and contraction of the stones, because of this temperature and all, makes the rocky mountains brittle, and very easily with this water hydraulic action, these stones break up very easily, forming as sea arc. So again in due course in the coming years, when these sea waves they reach the arc, and when they continuously hit this arc area, that also breaks up slowly because of the hydraulic action, and it remains only as a stalks. Okay, you can find that arc has completely broke, and only this sea stalks you can find only boulders of stones, rocks in the sea. Again, these stalks again in the future, due to again this hydraulic action, due to the hit of the continuous heating of the water, these stalks again decrease the size and form as small stumps, right children? So in this way you can see this sea waves gives to the formation of different sea landforms like sea caves, sea arcs, stalks, stumps, and sea cliffs. What are sea cliffs? You might have seen that in oceans and seas, few mountains will be there, right? As the land is uneven during the formation of the earth, the land is formed unevenly. Okay, so wherever these mountains, hills are present in these ocean bodies, in these water bodies, as the sea waves they hit these mountain bodies, the upper layer and the sides of the mountain they get rubbed with this hydraulic action, with the force of these sea waves, and they cut the outer layer, they act as the sandpaper. They hit them and they break the stones, making it as a plain wall. So this happens in both the ways. On the upper side because of the waves reaching up the stones, and the sides because the waves reach to they hit the sides of the walls of the mountains. So in this way they form the cliffs, right? Okay, like small islands, etc. Is that clear to you, children? Okay, next, work of wind. Work of wind. Have you seen children? Winds, sometimes they blow very, what is wind? Fast blowing air is called wind. So winds, when they blow very fast, we call them as storm, gust, right? So these storms, when they blow very fast, along with them they carry the dust particles, fine soil. So these soils, especially I am talking about the desert areas. When the winds blow very fast in the desert area, the fine soil present in the sands, small sand particles present in the desert, they will be carried away with these storms, with these winds. And these winds, they rub the mountains, they rub the stones, boulders, rocks, and when they come in contact with these stones, with these boulders, stone, rocks, they rub the outer layer of the stone, acting as a sandpaper. So when they rub the rocks, the layer of the rock, due to the continuous process of these winds, continuous action of this wind, the outer layer of the rocks will be eroded slowly. So this results in the formation of different types of rocks like mushroom rocks. If you see, especially in the desert areas, you can find mushroom rocks, because when the winds blow, they blow on the surface of the earth. So you find this. You find that on the surface are the rocks which are big rocks, big structures, stone structures which are present on the surface of the earth. The down portion get eroded because of this movement of wind. The small sand particles which are carried with these winds, they rub the outer layer of the rocks, breaking them into small pieces, and it gives the shape, the rock become thinner in size at the bottom, and at the top you find the big rock which looks like a mushroom. So this type of boulders, this type of stone structures are called as mushroom rocks. Okay, so this is formed because of the work of wind. Next children, especially in the desert areas, the fine sand, soft sand will be carried with these fast blowing storms, fast blowing winds. So they carry from the high pressure and they deposit it at the low pressure areas, forming small hills, which we call them as sand dunes. So sometimes this winds, they carry the small sand particles, small loamy soil from this sand, and they deposit it at the low land, making it as a plain land, which is called as Lewis plain. In this way, with the help of winds also, you find formation of this Lewis plains, formation of mushroom rocks, formation of sand dunes, etc. So these all are called as third order landforms. Right, children? Okay, now the next is action of vegetation and human beings. So with the action of vegetation, what do you mean by action of vegetation? What is vegetation? Right, growing of plants, trees is vegetation. So you might have seen in the forest and in the open land, trees grow very fast during the rainy season. So these trees, they go deep inside the earth. So the rocks or the mountains or the stones which are present around these trees or under these trees, these roots penetrates into those stones, breaking them into small pieces. And when the rain falls heavily at that time, with the erosion process, with the heavy water flow, these small particles will be washed away, which we call as soil erosion. Right. So with this action of vegetation, the big structures, big mountains, big hills, big stones, rocks are breaking up very easily as the roots enter into them, and they make the rocks brittle. They make the rock very delicate, and they break up very easily, forming into sand, mud, and small pebbles and stone. In this way, again you find earlier ones there were hills and stone boulders. After a few years, if you observe there you do not find them. Where they go, they get break up with this type of action of vegetation. Is that clear? Now next is action of human beings. Human beings are also responsible for the changes in the formation of different landforms. Like nowadays, human beings, they are cutting the forest, children, doing deforestation for the construction and for their different purposes. So due to this reason, the soil is becoming very loose. These trees, grass, they hold the soil, the roots hold the soil firmly. Even if it rains heavily, it do not allow the soil to run away very quickly. But due to this deforestation process, the soil is becoming very loose, and whenever it rains heavily, the outer layer of the soil is getting washed away very quickly, very fast. And this washed away soil will go and get deposited in the lower land, forming there as plain lands and deltas and some other landforms. And due to this, many problems are also arising, like rivers are getting flooded with the extra soil which is washed away by this water hose, and accumulation of silt in the tanks, accumulation of more soil in the rivers, which is leading to the less water storage capacity. Catchment areas of the water rivers are decreasing because of this soil erosion. So all these problems are taking place. This is all happening because of the action of human beings. So to stop this, we have to do more afforestation. We should not cut the trees and grass, especially in the slopy region. They hold the soil very firm. Is that clear, children? So in this way, due to the action of water and rain, these third order landforms are formed. Hope you all understood the concepts. Right? Here we completed our second lesson, children. Now we will start with the new lesson, that is the third lesson. Okay? Any doubts in this second lesson, children? You can please call me and you can get your doubts clarified. Right? Okay. Now shall we start the next lesson? Okay. Before I start the next lesson, we will discuss about the previous lesson. In the previous lesson, we have discussed about the four realms of the earth. Can you tell me what are they? Yeah, lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and biosphere. So in the last lesson, we have studied about the lithosphere layer. Now, can you tell me about which layer we are going to start now? About which sphere we are going to study now? Exactly, about hydrosphere. So the new lesson which we are going to start is hydrosphere. Okay? Yes. Yes, children. Now let us start the new lesson, that is hydrosphere. What is hydrosphere? In the last lesson we have discussed hydro, water, the sphere of water, the sphere of water bodies. Right? This is derived from the Greek word hydra, means water. Okay, the sphere of water, the sphere of water bodies. What are the different water bodies on the earth? Yes, ocean, seas, rivers, lakes, ponds, tanks, etc. Right? This all contains water in it. Right? So, this water bodies, how these water bodies are formed and how these water bodies they get water, that all we will discuss now. Okay, children? Right? Yes, children. Water is a renewable resource, right? So, every year, now which season we have? Rainy season. Can you tell me how rain falls? What process, with what process rain falls on the earth? Can you tell? Yes, this is because of the hydrological cycle. So, this rain falls, fills all this water body in the rainy season. Every rainy season it rains and all the water bodies get filled. Again next year, again in the next rainy season, again same thing happens. So in this way it is a renewable resource, right? So this hydrological cycle is responsible for the rainfall. Now what is this hydrological cycle? Why we call it as a cycle? Because it just goes around, it happens continuously. It never ends. This process runs continuously. Okay, there is no end for this. What is hydrological? As this is related to water body, water, we call it as hydrological cycle. So in this hydrological cycle, we have 6 steps, children. It happens in the 6th process. That is evaporation, transportation, condensation, precipitation, runoff, and groundwater. Now, what is evaporation? What do you mean by evaporation? You have studied in your earlier classes, children. In class 7, you have studied about the water cycle. You remember? So there you have studied about all these factors, right? About these terms. So evaporation is the change of water into the water vapor is evaporation. How this happens? When this happens? Yes, it happens on a sunny day. When the temperature is very high, at that time, the upper surface, the outer surface of the water get heated, and from that vapors, water changes into the form of vapors, and this water vapor get mixes with the air, right, in the form of moisture, which we also call as humidity, right. So the process of water changing into the water vapor is evaporation. Is that clear? So this evaporation, after this evaporation, the air which carries this water vapor, the air which carries this moisture, we call it as humidity. So these winds, they blow high. They blow high. This process is called transportation. So from the surface of the earth, they go to very high level, because once the winds absorb this moisture, once the winds carries this water vapor, they become low. The pressure decreases in the winds. Due to this low pressure, they rises high in the atmosphere. So once they rises high, after reaching a certain level, as the temperature is low, once in the previous class you have studied that the temperature on the earth's surface is high compared to the hilly regions. So once the winds with this low pressure, they start rising high up in the atmosphere. After they reach a certain level, these winds, these low pressure winds which carries moisture, they condense and they change into the forms of clouds. Okay, why they condense? Because of the decrease in temperature. As the temperature is low, the water vapor again changes into the clouds form. There they form they form clouds. Once these clouds get saturated, once these clouds get filled with all these water droplets, based upon the height of the clouds where they are formed, precipitation process takes place. What is this precipitation? Change of this moisture into different form, either water drops or snow or hail or fog, etc. It depends upon the altitude where these clouds are formed. Okay, if the clouds are formed on the hilly regions, there you find the moisture is changing, these water drops are changing into snow or hail, right. In this way, it depends upon the degree of coolness. If the temperature is too cool in that area, then the condensed water changes into either snow or ice or hail, like that. Okay, so generally in our area, as it is on the plateau surface, you do not find these hills. So here water changes into the water drops in the form of rainfall. So once the saturation level completes, this water starts flow, these clouds start bursting and they fall on the ground as a form of rain. So this rainfall, once it starts, once the clouds burst out and once the rain starts, the water starts running off from the mountains, hills, or on the surface of the earth, wherever it is. So this running of water is called run off. What we call it as run off. So while the water is running off, some amount of water it absorbs into the soil. Soil percolates some amount of water, which is deposited in the form as groundwater under the surface of the soil. Okay, children. So in this way, aquifers get filled with this runoff water. The holes present in the pervious rocks makes the water from the ground surface to absorb inside the layer of the soil, and it gets filled in the aquifers. In this way, aquifers recharge with the runoff water, and the remaining water which is running off, finally again it goes and mixes in the oceans and seas in the form of it starts from the mountains, hills in the form of streams, tributaries, big rivers, and finally they end up in the oceans and seas. Okay, so in this way, here you can see that from these water bodies, this water has transformed as water vapor, condensed, again changed as precipitation, again it fall on the ground in the form of rainfall, again it got mixed in the ocean and water bodies, right? So that is why it is like a cycling process. That is why we call it as a hydrological cycle. Is that clear? Hope you all understood this concept of hydrological cycle. So please read this lesson, third lesson, first concept of hydrological cycle. In the next class we will start the new concept. Okay children, any doubts please call me. Read the lesson. I will show you picture of hydrological cycle, children. Yes. Can you see this picture of hydrological cycle? So from the water bodies, evaporation is taking place, clouds are forming, again runoff, again it is falling on the mountains, hills, again it is running off, mixing into the water bodies. So this is called as hydrological cycle. Hope you all understood this concept. Right? Okay children, thank you, take care, protect yourself, thank you.